Here is my key word outline today. Howdy everyone, this is Justin Paez here, and today I'd like to dive into some different angles on some specific mental stressors and how to handle them. Now, it's super interesting to me how in even a university that has over 70,000 students, you can feel lonely. And in fact, the majority of students report feeling some sort of depression, stress, or anxiety. And many students struggling with mental issues related on academic reasons, student loans, loneliness, and a number of different college responsibilities that they believe they can't have help for. But there are a few ways that we can break this negative cycle. University members can create more options for viewing and applying for scholarships, and students can work on reaching out to connect more with their college community. This can help limit the stresses of debt and of isolating anxiety. In overview, I'd like to emphasize the need to learn more about scholarships and federal aid and in hopes to cure student debt concerns. Also, I'd like to speak on the effects of isolation on student psyches and how there are outlets for people to reach out to in order to help their mental issues. Now, the problems of stress and depression have had its drain on mental health. As reported from Mayo Clinic, over 44% of college students say that they've experienced major forms of depression, stress, and anxiety. Now, that's nearly half of the millions and millions of students in the college population. And a huge chunk of stress comes from academic reasons, living far from your relatives and friends, and the burdens of student debt. Not just in Texas, as reported from education.org, 52% of Texas students claim to have some form of student loans and debt. And their mean number owed is over $32,000 in Texas. And we aren't even the highest state. Washington, D.C. is, as it's put on the map, at over $55,000 a person. Now, moreover, student debt is a plaguing affair that has impacted a ton of students. But the biggest issue is that many students believe that there is no way to escape this hole of debt. But there is. Scholarships and federal aid have been around for a very long time, but they haven't been super highlighted in our country. That's why I propose, if at the beginning, middle, and end of academic school years, that there is an informational convention on all types of student aid. Now, I say that because many students perceive that student aid is only offered to a select few and that only a minimal amount of people can get this aid. But there is actually an outstanding number of scholarships just waiting for students to apply to. Now, continuing further on speaking with mental issues in college, being at a huge university like we are, there's a lot of moving people and a lot of moving parts. And that can be intimidating to handle. And it's left many students hesitant to break out of their shell. And with doing that, many students have developed serious struggles with loneliness and depression. Sarah K. Lipson, a Boston University mental health researcher, stated that half of the students in fall of 2020 were tested positive for depression and or anxiety. Also, 2/3 of college students claim to be struggling with some sort of loneliness and being isolated. But if these students can just take that leap of faith to branch out, I guarantee that they will be glad they did it. Because, for example, A&M has over 1,000 clubs and organizations that offer a tumultuous amount of experiences to all students. For example, there are FLOWs, which is freshman leadership organizations for freshmen. There's a number of different service and social clubs. Intramurals are very popular, and Greek life is super prominent in the Aggie community. On Texas A&M Today, they stated that there are over 6,000 students in Greek life at A&M, and that is roughly 11% of the undergraduate population. Now, I understand maybe joining a group of that size can be too much all at once. So there are other options if you want. You can look to speaking to faculty members, your counselors, your professors, your just any other workers that you'd like to speak to. And everyone has these people. They are just an email, phone call, or a visit away. And I personally recommend this the most because these guys, they'll definitely listen to you, because that's what they're here for. They're here to promote our success and our betterment of our futures. Now, it may seem hidden to the common student eye, but these outlets are out there and they are accessible. Now, to conclude my part of the presentation, I'd like to say that there are opportunities for growth out there, and even though they might seem hidden or just around the corner, they are real. Whether you need a friendly or faculty boost to focus on what's most important, our mental well-being. Now, no one said it was going to be easy, but we can't let the burdens of anxiety and stress negatively impact our minds and our mindsets. University staff have the people and the passion to rid the students of stress and anxiety. They just have to push it out there for everyone to see. And as Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. There will always be moments of anguish, but even so, you have to continue to look for a solution to your stress and mental pressures, because that will build up your strength as a person and your strength mentally. Thank you all for your time today, and I'm so glad I can pass it off to the very capable hands of my teammates.